Guys, we have 357 likes. Let's get up to 400 before the end of the show. We're going to do the Cumia, Kevin Brennan stuff now for overtime today.
God, I forgot almost. That was so riveting for me.
That's why I'm rolling up my sleeves.
I know, I'm warm.
We're going from Veritas to the Cumia Brennan drama. If you feel like throwing a like at us, let's do that like. Let's get it up to 400. Let's do a quick rally here. Keep refreshing. Keep me up to date. I like having my counters there. Let me know what's going on. Hit the thumbs up button on this on the stream we're doing here. Subscribe to our channel, of course. That's great, too. Don't forget, April's going to be on Simpcast this Sunday night at 8 o'clock Central Time, right after our members-only show. 366. All right, so we're getting there. Keep hitting those likes. Let's get her up to 400, and then we'll do the Cumia Brennan stuff. Google did wipe this fruit off the internet. Okay. Or Pfizer did. I mean...
Google wiped the fruit.
Yeah, wiped this fruit off the internet. 366. Keep clicking. Let's see if we get to 400 before we start this Cumia Brennan coverage here. Yuichi says, the thing I can't believe is Cumia was paying Dave Landau that much money. We'll get to that.
Yeah, but that seemed like it came out and it was pretty honest, too.
Yeah. 373 likes now. Let's get her up to 400. We're 27 away. Let yourself be one of those 27. And let's get her up to 400. All right, I put us about 15 minutes in to the episode. Kind of when they start, what do you call that? Simulcasting.
Simulcasting.
When they simulcasted with MLC. So let's set you guys up here. Anthony Cumia, obviously, Opie and Anthony, Compound Media, he has a show. Years ago, he gave Kevin Brennan a show called Burning Bridges. How fitting. Kevin Brennan would whine and complain about the money he was getting. He would whine and complain about how much time he was doing. He didn't like that Geno and Aaron Berg at the time in Hot Water had as much time as they did. He didn't like that Bill Schultz did a show every day, and he didn't. Anthony and the team thought that Kevin Brennan wasn't a guy they wanted to have on every day because, look, Kevin's got a specific thing he does. He complains. He shits on people. His show is an angry show.
Kind of mean.
It's a mean, angry show. I have nothing against mean and angry.
Not at all.
But it's a mean, angry show. And they decided they didn't want to have the mean, angry guy on 4 days a week and pay him Geno or Bill Schultz money. So Kevin Brennan said, I'm going to take my ball and go home. I'm not going to work here anymore. And they said, if that's the way you feel, sounds good to us. So then years go by, and then one day Kevin Brennan shows up in Anthony Cumia's studios, and Anthony goes, come on, sit down, do a show, absolutely. You know, Anthony's one of these guys you can burn him, and he'll be like, if I think you're funny, if I like you, if you can do a good show, I'll have you on.
Come back.
So in order for Anthony to be done with you, you've got to be pretty fucking bad. There's now two people that Anthony's done with, Opie and Kevin Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two.
It's a very short list.
So, Stuttering John Melendez. Those are the three. So, Anthony brings Kevin back on every Thursday to be a guest, him and Bob Levy. He wants to do Thursdays with him. Wednesdays, he has Gavin. Mondays, he usually has Chrissie. Mm-hmm. Tuesday, he gets to talk about whatever he wants, bring another comic on, do a show. Thursday, he has Kevin Brennan and Bob Levy on. As a kindness, now... We've both been guests on podcasts before. Not only do you not get paid, you don't expect to be paid.
Doesn't even cross my mind.
It's not even an option. It's just you do the show, you expose yourself to another audience, you cross-pollinate a little bit, you share some subscribers and some fans. Anthony, out of the kindness of his heart, gave Kevin Brennan $100 a week to come in and be a guest for 2 hours on his podcast. And as Jim Florentine says in this clip, that's $50 an hour.
It is. That's great.
As Jim Florentine said, you get $25 to do a set at the stand. So they're not comparable. So Anthony was doing a very nice thing, but Kevin does a show called Misery Loves Company. And here's what I think happened, because now we, in a weird way, got kind of stuck in the middle because Kevin Brennan was on his show while he was on with Anthony yesterday going, well, Steel Toe does their show every day, and I was kind of inspired by that. I watch Steel Toe in the morning, and I think, oh, I should do 4 days a week. So are we, in a way, responsible? were we motivation for Kevin Brennan to split with Compound? Or, if I can reveal the joke, is Aaron just injecting himself into this to be funny.
Most likely, right?
There you go, guys. Before they run too fast with it,
With the fan fiction.
We know our audience with the fan fiction. They can't help themselves. I told you Aaron's that egotistical. Fucking around. Relax. But he gave Kevin $100 a week. Well, Kevin does a show that's based on shitting on people and being upset. So he hates Geno Bisconte. He doesn't respect Chrissie Mayr. He doesn't like Bill Schultz. He doesn't like anybody at Compound Media. But he respects Anthony. Oh, hates E-Rock too.
Hates E-Rock for sure.
Shitting on everybody at Compound every single time he did his show. I mean, it was endless. It was either the hate Geno or hate Compound show. Mm-hmm. And he would bitch about the $100 he got a week from Compound Media to come and be a guest. He's like, Geno gets more, Bill Schultz gets more. They do a show on the network. You're a guest. That's it. I kind of feel about Kevin's complaining the way I feel about Crowder. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Just leave.
Just leave.
If it's really only $100 to you and it makes you angry, just go.
And here's the problem Kevin's going to have. As someone who's done this for a long time, here's the problem Kevin's going to have if you want to do that show 4 days a week and continue holding an audience. Because right now that audience is there for this drama. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be big for a couple of weeks here, just coasting on this drama. You're going to be doing big numbers.
Yes, it is.
But if you're going to do a show 4 days a week, I can promise you people are going to get bored of hating and raging against the same people every single day. You're going to have to come up with some show prep.
It doesn't feel good.
Right. You're going to have to develop things to talk about that aren't Geno or Anthony or E-Rock or this and that. It's a limited group. It's a limited environment you're talking about. That's why we save shit like this for our last 30 minutes.
There's only going to be so much you can say at some point.
So Kevin goes on, he keeps shit talking, and then is going to no-show Anthony's show on Thursday. And then decides to do Misery Loves Company at the same time Anthony's doing his show with Jim Florentine.
And then somebody else ends up not showing
And then
up.
Bob Levy texts Anthony like a hostage text saying, sorry, I'm working a lot with Shuli and Bob now. It's taking up a lot of my time. I love doing it from home. Nothing personal. And Anthony tweeted or just texted him back, oh, whatever, business. Mm-hmm. Here.
Because it sucks.
Yeah. Now you guys are caught up. Let's watch Anthony's clips from Anthony's show from yesterday. He finds out that Misery Loves Company is doing their show at the same time as him. He had no idea. And Jim Florentine is there as well. By the way, this clip is from compoundmedia.com. I strongly suggest you become a member. Yesterday was maybe the best day of broadcasting in Compound history.
So good.
Geno's show was hilarious. Anthony's show was great. Him and Florentine were awesome. Their segment on country music yesterday was awesome.
Great.
Let's go ahead and watch Anthony talk about this Kevin Brennan situation.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
just wanted to let you know that Brennan, Levy, and the great Chad Zumach are going the ways of the Opster and working for Super Chats right now with the live show on YouTube at the exact same time your show started.
Oh, okay. So they're... Oh, is this their show right now? Oh,
yeah,
my
live
God.
right now.
Thanks for the heads.
Okay, I just want to point something out. Look at the production quality differences between these two shows. Mm-hmm. What I'm telling you is if you're going to do 4 days a week, you can't do it like this. People are going to get tired of it. You certainly can't have this monkey on there every day. People already hate his fucking guts. But hating him is going to stop being ironic, and people are just going to stop watching at some point.
So now Anthony's finding out where Bob is right now, too, because he was under the impression him and Kevin were coming in today.
Yes. So if you're going to do a show like this as like a niche thing once a week, this is all fine. If you think you're going to pull this off Monday through Thursday, and you're going to have this fucking idiot working for you, Chad Zumach, people are just going to turn it off. Because once a week, it's fun to stop in on a Wednesday and shit on Chad Zumach. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. But every day, people hate the motherfucker, and he's not talented.
This show is good for, like, if you want to blow off steam for a little bit.
Right. It's fun. Look, I'll tell you this. It's fun to watch Kevin rant once in a while.
It is.
I couldn't imagine it being part of my daily routine. He'd have to change up his act a little bit.
And look, Bob is great in pretty much any setting he's in.
Yes.
It's just like I feel like he's not the angry guy anymore that like belongs here daily.
This is your biggest problem though right away going forward.
Of course it is.
This is your biggest problem because this guy's not funny. Your audience hates him, and if they have to see him every day, they're going to stop watching.
What's up? Could you turn up the volume?
June, I said, are you doing that show? He goes, no, I'm not. He goes, I'm not really hanging out there anymore. He goes, I'm up for something at SNL. So I thought it was like a writer gig. I didn't know. Anyway, so he goes, what were they paying you there? I told him, and then he goes, yeah, I was making.
I'll tell you this. Not very riveting content if you want to do this 4 days a week.
I already felt it. I'm thinking, the chat's going to think this is boring. Because, Anthony's going to have some really good shit to say here. Because,
honestly,
frankly, I think Anthony's been disrespected.
This is what Kevin should be thinking about. And if Kevin really does watch the show and it inspired him to go 4 days a week, thank you. Obviously,
sure.
we respect what Kevin's accomplished. I like Kevin in small doses. But if you're going to do the fuck Compound Media show, you can't do that 4 days a week. You will. This isn't me shitting on you. This is me just giving advice. You're going to have to do a different kind of show. You're going to have to add more elements to your program if you want to do this 4 days a week. You want to do it once or twice a week, go bananas. That act will work. Mm-hmm. But 4 days a week, it won't.
Like $250 a week
and these big numbers you're seeing are because of Anthony Cumia. You're seeing big numbers because you're beefing with Anthony. I can attest to the Anthony bump. We're pushing 50,000 views on our interview. It's big. He attracts a big audience.
Yep.
Because they I guess they paid him and his friend Tommy Pope. They had to split 500. So everybody leaves there because Landau fucking left. Landau left. Everybody leaves. Everybody leaves because they're cheap as fuck. They always make the Jews and doing the Jew characters, and Shuli's a Jew and Drew's a Jew. They're cheap as fuck over there. They're literally cheap as fuck. So everybody leaves because they don't pay.
He was making $100 a week as a guest. I need to find out in what world that's cheap.
I'm watching Anthony down in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck? And then I'm watching Bob up top. He looks stressed as hell.
Bob looks like he's
he doesn't
a
want to be
hostage.
in this position.
Yeah, Bob looks like a hostage during all this. And Adam, I think there's a part of Adam that goes, this is fucking retarded.
It is.
Then Chad will do whatever Kevin says.
It's a sinking ship. You guys
This is like Inception right now. I'm watching Anthony, and he's watching us.
Who's paying
And I'm
more?
looking up at,
Who's paying more than we're paying over here?
They're
It's
watching.
great radio.
Who's
Yeah,
fucking
that's what
paying
they're saying.
more
They're watching
than
us.
we're
They're
paying
watching
over
me,
here
BBC.
for shows? They're not. They make deals. You have to have a Patreon. You have to have sponsors. The company themselves aren't paying people.
It's protest.
I'm jerking my
And
cock
Zuma
off.
can shut the fuck up.
That's
By the
fine.
way, Anthony actually was doing the voice of the entire MLC podcast audience and people in general who listen to anything. Zumach can shut the fuck up.
Yes.
I mean, if you're Anthony, like, if Anthony's watching your show, a Chad Zumach should have to wear a sheet over his head and
I
not
agree.
be present.
Like, be shameful
Yes.
of that part of you.
Yeah.
That little cunt.
No, it's listen.
No,
we all
I think
like
Chad's on
Anthony.
your side. I don't know. He knows, but no, I want to ask Bob. Ask Bob how much does he get paid to go on a podcast?
For $100 when I know fucking pieces of shit like Geno Bisconte and fucking Bill Schultz make more than that. Like I know
I'm
that.
sorry, but there's a part of this is Kevin's problem with his brother too. I wish he'd just admit this part because it just comes off as blind rage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a jealousy, not of Geno Bisconte, the person,
It
but a
comes out.
jealousy of that position.
Yes.
This would be a lot easier for people to understand if Kevin would come out and say, I would like the deal he's got. I would like the deal Geno has. It's a nice deal. It's the deal I wanted on Compound originally when they wouldn't give me 4 days a week.
Yep.
That for a fact.
I thought it
They're
was cheap.
human garbage. They're like literally have nowhere to go. That's the only reason they're still there. They have nowhere to go. They don't pay them well. Bill Schultz has a roommate in a windowless apartment.
There's no
Is that
window
even
in it.
possible?
Chad,
He's
No
had that
window.
apartment since he's done a show
No
here.
window.
I'm paying him enough for a windowless apartment.
And he has a
He had it when he was
roommate
doing
in a
Red Eye.
windowless
Yeah,
apartment.
yeah.
Geno Bisconte lived on Kevin Dabrowski's couch. It's one thing I remember.
Why,
Phil
it's my
Hanley
responsibility
broke
to
up
make
with
sure
his
these
girlfriend.
people are
He was
housed and fed?
fucking
Fucking-
beautiful apartment on the Upper West Side. And he goes, yeah, I got my own bathroom, own fucking bedroom. She's
And
really
again, you
taking care
came
of
in
me.
for
But
2
when you're
hours
living
on my
Kevin
show.
Dabrowski-
I mean, it does. I mean, when you have somebody listen to Kevin and respond to it, you do respond like, are you insane?
I know. This is
Like,
absolutely
what are you
just-
complaining about?
I don't know. Like if you're not there, you can stop complaining now.
Right, you're free of your $100 a year golden hand or $100 a week golden handcuffs.
I'd love an extra $100 a week to sit next to Cumia and do a fun bullshit show.
I'll do
Are
it.
you kidding me?
Hey, E-Rock.
Anytime.
I'll do 100. I'll do 10.
But the thing is that most people would be thankful for that opportunity, and he just sits and bitches about it.
And if you're not, okay, there's one thing. If you don't want to be thankful for it, find the, like I said about Crowder, he's kind of pulling a Crowder now. Nobody forced him to be there. Nobody forced him to take the $100. And he's just sitting there not only bitching about the $100, but then you find out what it's really about.
Well,
he doesn't like what Geno has.
Oh, Geno's a piece of shit human being. Well, even if he is, at least he's funny and he's getting paid for it.
And if he's a piece of shit and nobody listens to Compound, it's fucking terrible.
Right.
Then you're free.
Exactly. Then you're proven right if this whole thing tanks, right?
Fly away and be free, Kevin.
It's going to be okay.
I would say be happy, but let's be honest.
Are we ever
Let's
happy?
be honest.
You weren't doing the show 4 days a week. If I was paying him $100 to do a show by himself 4 days a week, of course. I did at one point. How much did he make? Where's E-Rock? Of course he's not here.
I ain't for $100.
How much did I pay Kevin Brennan for his 4 day a week show? Or did he was mad because...
Here we go. Let's get off of the double thing and let's go to Anthony's response to this now.
Doing less time and got paid the same. I don't know what it was, but I remember that.
And by the way, the Landau thing, there's something Brennan, he talks out his fucking asshole. He doesn't understand. Landau left because they offered him a fuckload of money over there.
Yeah, I don't care if Compound Media is doing great or not doing great.
Right.
They can't pay Crowder money.
Nope.
They can't.
And they're self-aware. He's sitting here saying, like, yeah, I would have left too.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of money.
Wait
okay?
until you hear what Dave Landau was making to sit next to Anthony Cumia and laugh.
Right.
Your eyes will bug
Our
out of your
jaws
head.
dropped.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I was paying Landau $100,000 a year. Fucking Landau was making $100,000 a year.
I'm sorry. I don't care what company you run. If your company can afford to pay someone $100,000 a year to sit next to Anthony, I don't care what Kevin wants to say about Compound, about what stupid fucking Chad Zumach wants to say about Compound. If you can do that, your company's doing well.
Very well, because not only was he paying Landau $100K a year, he was keeping everyone else around too.
Yes.
So
Good
Just
money.
sit there and do that's good fucking money. That's cheap. Fuck off. That's it. Now I'm out with Brennan. If he fucking wants to come back here, he can't. I'm done with Kevin Brennan.
There's like literally two people in the world. It's like the Black Book in Casino where they go, there's only two names in there and one of them's Al Capone. Anthony's can't come back into the studio list ever. Is like
it's tiny.
Maybe 3 or 4 people deep. I'm going to tell you right now, under the right circumstances and for the right business and for the right eyeballs, he'd let Opie walk into that studio.
I guess he would.
He would let Opie walk in there.
He's a businessman too. So obviously he's given Brennan a 4-day-a-week show before, and obviously that didn't pan out. So he knows what's going to work for his show and what doesn't.
To bitch and whine so much that Anthony doesn't want you to be in that studio. It's amazing to me. And again, if it doesn't bother you, if it doesn't hurt you, if you hate the $100 so much, why keep bringing it up? Why keep yelling and screaming about the same people every week?
Because it's not about the $100.
No.
It never was.
It's about Chrissie. It's about Geno. And let me say something.
It's about the places they hold.
Before anyone says anything about Chrissie Mayr is Compound Media's best hookup to the mainstream that there is. 80,000 subs on YouTube, doing a show, plugging Compound Media.
Constantly out there hustling everywhere.
Holy shit.
She's doing everything all the time.
There. Done. Holy fuck. $100. You're a guest on my show. Out of the kindness of my heart, I gave you money for gas. Holy shit. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's true. We're sitting here bitching about gas money.
Isn't that retarded?
It's really
Honestly,
retarded.
Like, you're sitting next to some guy who's like one of the most successful names in the whole industry, and you're complaining about the money he's giving you to sit next to him on his show.
And I'm saying this respectfully to Kevin Brennan. It's got to be a bit. Like, you've got to be doing it for views on your show because there's no way you're this upset about this Anthony Cumia thing. But he doesn't crack a smile through the whole thing. So I
really do believe that it's just that you kind of touched on it earlier. It's a jealousy of the place, it's the places that Geno and Chrissie hold. and Bill
He
Schultz
wanted
and stuff
those
like that.
places.
He wanted that place. It's not even about those people. He doesn't think Geno's a piece of shit.
He doesn't feel those.
He's just mad.
He doesn't feel those people are worthy of that spot, and he feels he is, and he doesn't have it. Well, if Anthony thought you were worthy of those spots, Geno would be out and you'd be in. This is Anthony's opinion that you're dealing with, or E-Rock's opinion that you're dealing with.
It's why the 4-day-a-week show didn't work out.
Right.
He gave that the shot it needed.
But like he shit talks his brother Neil all the time. I don't think he would be shit talking his brother Neil all the time if Neil wasn't Dave Chappelle's co-writer and co-creator on Chappelle's Show.
Or if he was working alongside him, getting paid the same.
I feel like Kevin believes he's more talented than his brother, and it's not right that his brother accomplished what he did. And I'll say this, is Kevin Brennan funnier than his brother Neil? Yes. But Neil Brennan got paid to be a great writer, not a great performer. Kevin Brennan outperforms his brother every day of the week. Neil Brennan should not be spoken in the same sentence as Kevin Brennan as live performers.
Right. It's not even like we're sitting here saying Kevin's not funny. He absolutely is funny.
Neil Brennan made it as a writer, and that's a completely different thing. Writers are dorks and usually unfunny, but they come up with wacky, interesting
That's why
shit.
somebody else performs the thing they wrote.
That's why Chappelle performed, and Neil would give Chappelle the idea, and they would craft it out together.
Bring a kid with you. It wasn't a problem.
Oh.
Compound daycare center for 2 fucking hours. And I'm a piece of shit? Holy fuck, Brennan.
That's the thing about Anthony is Anthony will take a lot of shit, but when he's had it, everything will get mentioned.
I think I told you yesterday, I felt really good for him, watching him finally get this out, because a lot of us could see this shit that was going on for a while.
He did. And again, this is not coming from a place of me personally disliking Kevin Brennan shit. He said that our show is motivation for him to go 4 days a week, and he watches us. Thank you. But I will say, objectively, Kevin Brennan treated Anthony like a fool for a long time, and now Anthony's finally letting this out.
Disrespectful. Like, we're just kind of, we're observing right now. It's right.
Although
observation.
maybe not in Brennan's defense, but to Anthony's discredit, I will say, and I think he says this himself in this clip, you knew what he was. Like, I think Anthony even makes the frog and the scorpion reference.
That's what I think most of us had known about this situation for a while, and we're all just kind of waiting for it to blow up, and then it felt good yesterday to finally see Anthony like stick up for himself and his business against that behavior.
When Kevin Brennan goes off about Compound Media or Anthony, I never go, oh my God, I can't believe.
Yeah.
It's Kevin Brennan. That's what he does.
It's commonplace.
Right.
Oh, my God. And poor Levy. He's saddled with that. And he's choosing, good, go there. I'm sure, I know the Patreon is fucking awesome and shit. And I wonder why, quite frankly.
Ouch.
That was kind of Anthony pulling his dick out there, wasn't it? I wonder why. Could it have been all the play and the fucking plug that I gave you guys?
I wonder why.
If it's $200, that's not going to be enough. And then if it's $250, that won't be enough.
That won't be
and
enough.
then if it's $300, it won't be
Never
enough.
enough.
And then it's like, I got to come in 2 days a week, and then I got to come in 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And I'm not coming in 4 days. It's never going to be enough. That's
never
how,
gonna
like,
be
Jackie the Joke Man ruined his career. He
Exactly.
always wanted more, whether it was a comedy club
Right.
or the Stern Show for renegotiation. He would always sit out. I want more.
More.
Jim Florentine is a remarkably, and this whole episode he was great, but
Awesome.
I've only met the guy once, but you can tell he's a genuine dude, and you can tell when he gives you an opinion, he's not lying. The Husey interview where he talked about the Zumach thing, people said, oh yeah, he said you were both kind of dumb for doing that. Not dumb. He didn't say dumb, but he thought the whole thing was kind of childish or whatever. And they're like, can you believe Florentine said that? I go, no, he's 100% correct. And you can take that to the bank. He's not saying it to be mean. He's not attacking anyone. He's just like, yeah, stuff like that. People can be kind of childish. Fine.
Comedy club, he want $300 more every time. Give me $300. Give me $500. Like, come on, fucking relax.
Everything was fucking dandy. And then he just got to keep fucking pushing. And I swear to you, how many fucking times I say, and I'll still say Brennan's a funny motherfucker. I think he's extremely funny. But holy fuck, is that a damaged individual?
So it's amazing that everyone comes up with the same conclusion on Kevin Brennan. You're so conflicted within yourself.
None of us hate Kevin. Kevin is a very funny man.
You're sitting there going, he's a funny guy, but God, what a fucking headache of a human being.
Like he said, everything was just fine and dandy, and then he had to go do this.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
He is fucking damaged. The guy doesn't know when someone's actually sincerely enjoying his company, appreciating what he does. He just got to turn around like a fucking pit bull and rip someone's throat out. The guy was petting you. He was feeding you something. Oh, it's a pit bull. Oh, okay. And now I understand why you turned around and ripped the throat out of the guy that was patting him on the head. That's
I'm watching this just
See,
going.
that just sucks.
I'm watching this just going, but this was a matter of time.
Well, it absolutely was, but that's why this felt so good for all of us to finally see this happen. But I do feel a little bad for Anthony because he is sitting here saying, I like what Brennan does. I like who he is and spending time with him. And
all you had to do was take your $100 and shut the fuck up.
I know.
Just take your $100, shut the fuck up. There's a lot of people who would do Anthony's show on Thursday. I'm thinking about Levy in general, or if like Shuli lived in New York and he lived close by, where I'm saying this about a Jewish person for God's sake, where Anthony would go, you want $100 a week to do the show? And they're like, no, I'll just fucking come in and do the show.
Yeah, what's $100 for?
Yeah, look, Florentine right there. If Florentine just had to travel a little ways to go do Anthony's show on Thursday, he'd be like, no, you don't need to pay me. What, $100? No.
Isn't there any honor at all in being like offered to be a guest spot on something?
Well, Kevin's one of those guys where he can't admit that.
Like,
Kevin can't admit that there's any kind of hierarchy or admit where his place is. He doesn't want to seem like he's cucked out, and he doesn't want to seem like anybody's above him. He can't be impressed with anybody.
I will sit here and say I am absolutely nothing, honestly. I'm so small in this whole world of shows and broadcasting and any of that. So when I get people like Frank Pellegrino messaging me and saying, hey, we really would like you on our show and stuff like that, just,
it's an honor.
It's humbling. It's an honor just to be even asked that.
He thought
awesome.
There's multiple names he thought of for that episode, but two of them were April Imholt and Anthony Cumia.
Isn't that insane?
That's a great feeling.
To me, when I opened up that message and I saw it, I'm like, I can't even understand how I got here sometimes.
Brennan, you pat him on the head, he rips your fucking throat out. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. And Levy, look, I'll have you on the show. If you want to be on the show, Levy's welcome to come on the show.
Depends what the weather is.
Yeah, right.
The weather that day.
Florentine with a dig.
You can definitely see how Florentine feels about this whole deal.
Bags put over your head if you want a bag, and how about a big thick scrunchie for the neck too? I just feel like I'm being fucking
Bob catching some shrapnel here.
I get it.
What am I, the bitch over here? What is this, a brothel? Compound brothel? Yes, sir.
I mean, on an average day, Misery Loves Company has about 500 people watching live.
Yeah.
If you don't think Compound Media has a crazy higher subscriber base than 500 people, you're out of your fucking mind. I mean, you lost access to an audience far bigger than the one you'll ever build.
Yeah, consider this for anyone who calls Anthony cheap. Like, we heard what he paid Landau when he was there, and that's just one guy.
And now this Compound audience, they ain't coming over to you now long term. They're not going to be fans of yours long term.
No, they'll be checking it out for the drama for a tiny bit.
Well, and the other thing about Brennan I wanted to point out, Lenny Marcus, Jimmy Martinez, Brian McCarthy, he's ran off a lot of co-hosts. He's ran off a lot of people. I mean, my God, he's down to Chad fucking Zumock, for God's sake.
Bottom of the barrel.
Do you know how few people have to say no, or how many people have to say no to you before you even consider putting Chad Zumock on anything? That's the last guy you've got left. That's it.
We used for a little bit there because I used to watch Misery Loves Company. I loved the show. I thought it was very, very funny.
Yeah.
And then for a little bit there, it's like, oh, the Zumock thing's got to be a bit, right? He's only having him on there for a bit. And then it just ended up being
you're stuck. That's
a
your
position.
That's your poison pill now. You're stuck because there's half your audience that's watching that just to get their jollies off making fun of that guy.
I stopped watching at some point.
No, but I'm saying there's half that audience that's there to make fun of him.
That's fine. I totally get that. And when they get bored of that, then they stop watching. Right. And for me, the Zumock thing got old. I stopped watching, and I loved that show.
Yeah, I just look. Frankie McDonald has to tell you no. Then 8 more people have to tell you no. Then Chad Zumock is an option.
Frankie McDonald has appearances everywhere.
Frankie McDonald's a good kid.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with money. Every time he comes here and drinks, he says he gets in trouble at home with his wife because he's having fun drinking.
He does drink.
I think he's not allowed to come here anymore.
So he's making an excuse instead of saying, my wife told me I can't come here. Look, I believe that too.
Yeah.
I could believe that. And I would respect that, actually, because, wives can be pretty fucking tough. We know this. I was married. You were married. We get it.
Did you see? I want to go back to Jim Florentine's facial expression. Oh, that was great. Watch Jim now when Anthony says the married thing.
Too.
Yeah.
I could believe that. And I would respect that, actually, because, wives can be pretty fucking tough. We know this. I was married. You were married. We get it. Pieces of shit.
Florentine's like, fuck yeah. I can.
Anthony's just, they're pieces of shit. I mean, we are the worst, right?
But Brennan's a piece of shit, too. Let's see what other people want.
I figured, believe me, by the fourth one, he'd find a woman that would put up with his shit.
Yeah.
Maybe the fifth one will.
Right.
Maybe.
The fifth one?
Maybe. Yeah, look, you can never tell a woman you're having too much fun, and there's video of this. So she's probably watching. Like if he's just in the city without any cameras, he goes, "No, it was horrible. I got stuck in traffic. Where I went to the club and I wasn't on the list, so I had to go to make it miserable."
So there's pretty much that's the gist of it. I did want to get the quote. Anthony said it. I am out of the Kevin Brennan business.
Yeah,
he did say that was a pretty thorough disavowing.
And it was about time, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Look, man. Yeah, Mark Atkinson says $100 plus free beer to go be a guest on a show.
And have fun. If you guys have ever watched that show with Cumia, Levy, and Brennan, it was fucking fun.
They were fun shows.
So you're sitting there for $50 an hour to drink and have fun. I honestly.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that you would take that for granted.
We're a little over here, but I want to get some of your guys' thoughts on the whole thing. And see what you guys think. Kevin deserves 1,000 to show, says Bumbaclo. Spaghetti Tooth John says Bob said he didn't get paid to do the show, and he was fine with it. Yeah, Bob's got a lot of, I don't want to say masters to serve, but he works with a lot of people who don't like each other. So he's got this weird balancing act.
That's got to end up causing you some kind of stress at some point.
Brian says the free airtime should be enough payment.
Yes, it's exposure. And I know exposure doesn't pay the bills, but it does help get your show out there and your name.
Rebel says, LOL, I can't wait to hear Brennan's take on this Steel Toe episode. I think I think because we respect Kevin Brennan so much, we're being a lot nicer than I think if it was some lesser comic.
Yeah, neither of us have sat here and said, wow, Kevin Brennan's a piece of shit.
Because if it wasn't Kevin Brennan and I didn't have respect for the guy, I would go, you fucking punk, how fucking dare you?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
But because
if it was anyone else, yeah.
But because it's Kevin Brennan and you get what his brand is and you get what he does, you're like, well, yeah, Anthony, you should have, this was going to happen. In fact, the guy's been shitting on you for a long time and your whole company.
He went with the Pitbull comparison. He knows.
Yeah, he knows.